All right, good morning, everyone. I'm a little bit late, I'm not gonna lie. But FOMC is about to come out in 40 seconds? Honestly, the main zone I'm looking at is this 4 hour zone, which we're kind of close to right now. Not sure if I'm gonna take a trade today. We'll see. We will see. I do think if Nasdaq closes below 733, I think it could come down to the 300s down here. Okay. Oh, it's 2 p.m. The move hasn't happened yet. It'll probably happen pretty soon. Or if it doesn't move a lot, maybe it'll move more around 2:30 when Powell speaks, which I do want to watch. So I'll probably be watching that pretty soon here. I also think there's a couple zones that look good. All right, I think I got the main zones. I'm also going to look at NASDAQ only. I will look at US 30, but I feel like for FOMC, it affects NASDAQ more. That's just what I've kind of seen. They held rates steady. The move was this morning. I'm not sure I would have caught it. I mean, let's see. I don't know if I would have caught the shorts this morning. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, this is crazy. Now they're barking. Did I trade yesterday? No. No, I haven't traded all week. I've been waiting for this moment. I'll be back. Let me tell these dogs something. Alright, I think they stopped. Where have I been? Shit. Nowhere. I've been here. I just haven't been trading. And I mean, I haven't been streaming because I feel like, I don't know. I feel like I didn't want to force a trade on stream if I knew it wasn't going to be a A plus setup. Because for me, I feel like my A plus setup requires like good volume. And recently we haven't had that. So I thought since it was FOMC week, which is just kind of a rule that I have where if it's FOMC week, I try not to trade the Monday and Tuesday. And then on Wednesday, once the decision comes out, uh if more volume kicks in, like right now, I mean the decision came out, but the market isn't moving a crazy amount. So if once Powell starts peaking and if he starts speaking, I see more volume kick in, which does happen sometimes, then I'll place a trade. But we'll see. If I don't place a trade today, then that's fine. I'll just wait for tomorrow. Nasty sell off though. But it's just like the sell off happened and then New York opened up and it didn't really. It pulled back and then it went down. So, and also, I don't know how I would have caught this short here. I mean, mm, maybe I could have, but I don't think I would have. Maybe on US 30. I actually haven't checked US 30. Maybe I would have caught the trade on there. Maybe. Let's see. How has your guys' week been? I haven't really been looking at the markets too much. I mean, I took a peek at it yesterday, but I noticed yesterday if I would have traded either Nasdaq or US 30, the trades that I probably would have taken would have lost. Um, like I just would have gotten chopped up yesterday. So I'm glad I didn't trade. Catching 1 hour a day, okay. Yeah, I feel like that's perfect for a slower market. Those Apex accounts still in the trenches. I mean, I wouldn't say the trenches. Like, I think we can make it out. I got 1700 to 1500. So I would say I got a pretty good amount. It's just, honestly, it's just down to these next couple days. Which is also a reason why I haven't been trading this week because I'm trying to save it, trying to save it for a good day. We'll see though. When will the chop stop? I'm hoping fucking today. I'm hoping tomorrow the market opens up and it just goes straight in one direction. That's what I'm hoping for. But we'll see. The levels I'm really looking at is what is this? 730 on Nasdaq. I think if it gets below 730, could easily come back down to the 500s. But yeah, the bigger time frame looks crazy. Crazy is a bad word for it. It looks the opposite of crazy. It looks it looks shit. That's what it looks like. It looks bad. Especially the daily. Look at the daily. Like this is horrible. Wow. Yeah, that's bad. At this point, we're just surviving, and I'm hoping next week we'll be thriving. I'm hoping, I'm hoping next week like something clears up. Can we trade gold with Apex? I think you can. I think they changed it back. You should be able to, but I'm not 100% sure because I'm. It's like some prop firms allow it, some don't, and then they turn it back on. So I don't even know. I'm pretty sure you could. Please, Donald, make a tweet. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, bro. He's gonna make the tweet over the weekend, like he always does that. Some shit about to go down over the weekend, and then we're basically gonna miss the move. Apparently, a lot of investors and big banks closed 75% of their position around when Iran started, hence the chop. Yeah. A lot of uncertainty. And then, you know what I noticed as well? There was a day where Trump was like, I think he tweeted that like everything was fine or something. And you would expect the markets to go up after that, but it didn't. And if it did, it didn't really, break outside of this range. But if it did break outside of the range, then I would have believed them, you know? Like, damn. Uh, False alarm. But no, I don't think it's a false alarm. No, it is a false alarm. And plus, I don't know. I keep seeing shit that like the war is getting worse. Um, but I don't even know because I don't read it. I just see the headlines. But yeah, apparently it's getting worse. Another thing I saw, I was watching this YouTuber yesterday. And he was talking about Bitcoin, and he was basically saying that Bitcoin has more room to go down. And like the way he explained it, I was like, yo, that makes so much sense. Because he was explaining each bull run is like 1,050 days, and then the bear markets last about a year. And now we're in the bear market, and I think we're like 200 days in or something. There's a definitely, I think it was a couple months left for the what is it called, bear run. But yeah, like if you measure how long the bull runs last, it's literally the same exact amount of days. Same thing with the bear markets. So I thought that was interesting. Yeah, these dogs are crazy. Let me mute myself real quick. Okay, I think they stopped. Keep working on bringing the accounts back, or else it's like 3K to start over with the 20. I know, that's why I'm trying to save him. Bro, if I start over, it'll be a pretty big expense, which I don't want to, but I think it'll be worth it either way. It's just something you have to do. But yeah, with the end of day accounts, since they're more expensive, it'll be like, yeah, almost 3,000. And then if I fail the evals, it'll for sure be almost like 4,000. But I think it'll be worth it, right? Because I'll take the funded account serious, take my time with it, um, and most likely get a payout. Unless I get a nasty losing streak, then that would be bad. Bro, I'm not gonna lie, like this FOMC looks like shit. I was expecting more volume or something, at 2 p.m. and it doesn't even look like news came out at all. We'll see in about 15 minutes how Papa Powell addresses us and what he says. I want to see spike on NQ, then continue bearish. I just want to see good volume, man. I want to see something. I feel like recently I haven't been seeing much. How to use Apex Copy Trader? Mine wasn't working today. Don't know what that was about. What platform are you using? Are you using Tradeovate or Wealth Charts? Even the FOMC is choppy. I know. I was expecting, some type of spike, something. But I mean, let's just give it time. Let's give it time. Let's see. I would say like if we don't see, more volume kick in, and when I mean volume, I don't just mean spikes. I don't want to see just spikes. I want to see, the candles closing strong and then the market continues in that direction. I don't want to see choppiness. Like if this candle closes out strong, I'd love to see it continue to go lower. That's what I really want to see. Oof, someone just got home. The dog, they're gonna go crazy. Shit, I might have to mute myself because they're gonna bark even louder. Well, charts his ass. Yeah, I didn't like it. I couldn't even figure it out, so that's that. But I do like the copy trader on wealth charts. I do think I mean, I don't know because I haven't tried it, but it looks better than Tradeovate's copy trader. Because, like, you could actually see how much you're risking and stuff. But I do think Tradeovate is smoother. What copy trader do I use? I use Tradeovate's copy trader, the built in one. Why don't you upload on which setup you use? I have. Did you get your second payout from Apex like in the bank? Yes, I did. I got it on Monday. Yeah, the dog's about to go crazy because someone just got home. Okay, I'm back. All right, we got like what, 12 more minutes? I kind of want to watch Meet Kevin because I like watching Meet Kevin when he watches Papa Powell speak. I think it's funny. But then it'd be like I'm streaming on YouTube, streaming someone else's YouTube stream. So maybe I shouldn't do that. I'll just watch Power. Does he go live on Fox? I think I'm about to watch him on Fox. We already know how he's gonna start. He's about to be like, "Good afternoon." How's Trade Sinker? If if you no, Powell's not speaking right now. He speaks at 2:30. You might be on the wrong stream, or you might be watching CNN because they're streaming something that was old. Let's watch it from Associated Press. Yeah, you might be watching the last FOMC, which was in January. Tracy's actually smooth. Is it really? Have you traded in like volatile markets though? That's what really matters. If it's good when the market's volatile, then I guess it's a good platform. I haven't tried it out though. I've just seen clips of it, and like the clips I saw were bad. It was like trading forex. Like the spreads were bad, but I also think it was because it was volatile. But I wouldn't be surprised if Tracy is bad because it's just like trading on TradingView. If you're a scalper trading on TradingView, you've probably had some issues. They're not horrible issues. It's just it's not smooth. Okay, 8 more minutes. Wow, US 30 looks pretty bad. US 30 also sold off, but the opening was the opening was rough, and then it looks like it started dropping around 10. Yo, these dogs. Oh my goodness. No, they're actually animals. You know what? It's our fault. I can't even complain about the dogs because it's not like we trained them. So I can't even get upset. Between NQ and YM, which one do you prefer to trade? All right. All right. Hold up. Hold up. Oh, but between NQ and YM, I would prefer NQ. I feel like you could make more money with NQ. NQ is just it's something else. Like I feel like if you catch the same move with an NQ and US 30, let's just say you put one contract on each and you kind of catch the same move, kind of, because they kind of move alike, you would make more money on NASDAQ with one contract. But also, it's just like pros and cons for both. So I feel like sometimes US 30 has a more cleaner opening. Obviously, not recently. I've been getting the trades that I've taken on US 30 recently have been bad. I've been getting chopped up on US 30. Any words of encouragement for someone who hit daily loss and locked out? It's fine. It's fine to lose today. Just wait for tomorrow. Be optimistic for tomorrow. Especially if you've been having a rough week. Just just hope that since FOMC came out today, that maybe the markets know where they'd want to go tomorrow. That's what I'm doing. And also, just I would say, like, if it becomes a pattern that you lose on Wednesday FOMC morning, you gotta recognize that pattern and then fix it, right? So I noticed the pattern for my pattern last year was every FOMC week I lose Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Thursday and Friday I'd make money, and it was like consistent pattern each FOMC week. So then I changed it from, you know what, fuck that. I'm not even gonna try to trade in the beginning of the week. I'm just gonna wait for the FOMC decision and then just trade Thursday and Friday. So it's really just me saving my money for a bet that I think would be better, hopefully, because I feel like this month has just been rough. And it's funny too, because last week I didn't trade Monday and Tuesday. I'm pretty sure. And then I let me see, let me see. Y- yeah, this was last week. Didn't trade Monday and Tuesday. This week I didn't trade Monday and Tuesday. We'll see what happens for the rest of the week. Oh, and then last week on the 13th, my Discord already knows, my free Discord, but if you just watch the streams, you saw me lost on Friday, which I did. I lost on Friday, and then I had a break even trade, and then when I got off stream, I took a trade with 10 micros, which was basically double my usual size, and then I caught good trade. And I also journaled the trade in the Discord. So that was a lifesaver because I was like literally like $500 away from blowing the accounts, and then I got that win. And then after this, like this whole weekend, I was debating. I was like, damn, like I really want to make money. Maybe I should try trading, Monday and Tuesday. So then I was like, I back tested January's FOMC week, and I realized why I don't trade in the beginning of the week for FOMC, because it's not in my favor. It's just not, like, it's like the markets doesn't really respect my zones like how it normally does. Yeah, 10 micros is basically like one regular contract on NQ, but I usually don't risk that much. So I definitely broke a couple rules, right? I broke my max trades on a day, and then I broke the sizing rule. That was pretty heavy size. It was a risk, but I decided to take it. And it also wasn't like a random trade. I actually waited for a good setup and I just took it. Thankfully, it was a trade that was straight into profit. So I went break even pretty quick. So that was good. All right, he's going to start speaking soon, so let's move this here and then this over here. I'm I'm streaming on YouTube and I'm streaming a YouTube stream. So, welcome to the YouTube stream in a YouTube stream. Oh, is he coming up? He's coming up. Oh my gosh. What's he gonna say? Good afternoon. Boom! Bearish candle. Never mind. Nothing happened.
Changed in recent months, and inflation remains somewhat elevated. Today, the FOMC decided to leave our policy rate unchanged. We see the current stance of monetary policy as appropriate to promote progress toward our maximum employment and 2% inflation goals. The implications of developments in
Yo, if he mentions Iran, I'm hoping he does.
mandate. And I'll have more to say about monetary policy after briefly reviewing economic developments. Available indicators suggest that economic activity has been expanding at a solid pace. Consumer spending has been resilient, and business fixed investment has continued to expand. In contrast, activity in the housing sector has remained weak. In our summary of economic projections, the median participant projects that real GDP will rise 2.4%
He's
this
doing
year
a presentation.
and 2.3% next year.
I've never seen
stronger
this.
than projected in December. In the labor market, the unemployment rate was 4.4% in February and has changed little since late last summer. Job gains have remained low. A good part of the slowing in the pace of job growth over the past year reflects a decline in the growth of the labor force due to lower immigration and labor force participation, though labor demand has clearly softened as well. Other indicators, including job openings, layoffs, hiring.
I can't imagine watching someone else for FOMC.
Employment rate is 4.4% at the end of this year, and
because this is last year, right? It's Powell's last year, I think.
Relative to our 2% longer run goal. Estimates based on the Consumer Price Index and other data indicate that total PCE prices rose 2.8% over the 12 months ending in February, and that excluding the volatile food and energy categories, core PCE prices rose 3.0%.
Yeah, it says his term expires May 15th, 2026. So is this his last time speaking? Because when's the next FOMC? Oh no. He'll speak in April, right? I'm not good with months. I don't even know. April's next, right? I think it is. So what's after April? Nah, I should have been paying attention in class that one day. Okay, it's May. So he'll speak in April. And that's going to be his last time. Wow.
September through December, we lowered our policy rate 0.75 of a percentage point, bringing it within a range of plausible estimates of neutral. This normalization of our policy stance should continue to help stabilize the labor market while allowing inflation to resume its trend toward 2%.
The next one with the new chair will be crazy. I think it will.
In the Middle East for the U.S. economy are uncertain.
Especially because it's his first time. It'll be his first time, like.
But it is too soon to know the scope and
well, it'll be our first time seeing the markets react to that new person. We'll see.
We are well positioned to determine the extent and timing of additional adjustments to our policy rate based on the incoming data.
Oh, and Q's going down.
And the balance of risks.
Okay.
In our SEP, FOMC participants wrote down their individual assessments of an appropriate path of the federal funds rate under what each participant judges to be the most likely scenario for the economy. The median participant projects that the appropriate level of the federal funds rate will be 3.4% at the end of this year and 3.
All right, so the markets are about to touch up on this 4-hour zone. There's a 4-hour demand zone and then a 2-hour demand zone. Same thing on US 30. There's also a couple 4-hour zones. So could be a good area for the market to bounce or a good zone for it to break past if there's really good volume. Maybe get a breakout, but I don't know. We'll see.
And keeping longer-term inflation expectations well anchored.
And honestly, I wouldn't really want to trade it unless it touches up on around 7:30, right down here at 7:27. I'd wait for that. And I don't know if we'll get that. Also, I feel like the latest I'll wait for a trade is probably 3 p.m. Oh, they're asking him a question. They're going to push him right here. Let's see.
Inflation that will come from higher oil prices stemming from the Middle East conflict. Is that the right approach at this juncture? And to what extent does the fact that inflation has been above target for roughly 5 years now influence the committee's thinking around this?
So, first, let me say we're well aware of the performance of inflation over the last few years and how a series of shocks have interrupted progress that we've made over time. And that happened most recently with tariffs, and now there will be some effects on inflation coming forward. The thing that's really important that we see this year is progress on inflation through a reduction in goods inflation as the one-time effects on prices of tariffs go through the system, go through the economy.
I have no idea what he's saying. I'm just hearing tariffs.
And we need to be seeing that to sort of understand that we actually are making progress, because on net we didn't make progress. And if you look at total core inflation, it's about 3%, and some big chunk of that, between 1/2 and 3/4, is actually tariffs. So we're looking for progress on that. The question of whether we look through the energy inflation doesn't really arise until we have kind of checked that box. It, of course, is kind of standard learning that you look through energy shocks, but that's always been dependent on inflation expectations remaining well anchored. And I think now it's also dependent on what you mentioned, which is that broader context of 5 years now of inflation above target. We have to keep all of those things in mind, and the question of looking through when it does arise will be one to approach not lightly, but in the context that you mentioned.
And just on the SEP, can you help us make sense of why there is still a bias to cut for most officials this year, despite the upward revision to headline and core inflation and the essentially unchanged forecast for growth and unemployment? I'm just curious, kind of what's the genesis behind the need? What's the need for the cut?
Yeah, so there are 19 people, and so 19 reasons, 19 individual submissions.
We're tanking.
But
I really wanted to tank as well, but
the median didn't change, but there was actually some movement toward.
I want better price action
toward fewer cuts by people. So 4 or 5 people went from 2 to 1, let's say.
I mean, I think more volume definitely kicked in. Like the candlesticks definitely look bigger, but we're still kind of moving sideways.
They want to do, but essentially it is that the forecast is that we will be making progress on inflation. Not as much as we had hoped, but some progress on inflation. It should come as we start to see in the middle of the year progress on tariffs, going through once and then tariff inflation coming down. We should be seeing that. And the rate forecast is conditional on the performance of the economy. So if we don't see that progress, then you won't see the rate cut.
Thank you. Howard Schneider with Reuters. Just to follow up a little bit and to be
Are you
clear,
trading evals or
is the higher
fundeds?
inflation
I mean, I'm trying to
penciled
trade
in here for
fundeds.
2026 solely the result
We'll see if I get it set
of
up.
the oil shock or else?
So that's going to be part of it. But, that wouldn't be most of core, right? So the oil shock for sure shows up here. Some of that will be in core as well. But yes, but no, there's also just the feeling that we haven't seen, the progress that we had hoped for on core goods and on tariffs and on the rest of it. So for whatever reason, people did write up their inflation forecast. That will certainly be tied to events in the Middle East and the price of oil, but it's also, I think, a reflection of the slow progress we've seen on tariffs, which we believe we will see. It's just a question of how long it takes for them to get all the way through the economy, and it just takes some time.
Right. And is the lack of change in the SEPs, again, just to explicate this a little bit, more due to the expectation that
Yo,
the
these
oil
dogs.
portion of this will pass through, or more out of concern that there
like
is
this
a
15-minute
potential
candle.
blow to consumption
See how it
and growth
closes.
coming in the form of wealth effects with the stock market down, in the form of gas prices, diverting spending from other parts of the economy?
So I didn't get the second part of your question.
The consumers are going to be potentially diverting money to gasoline from other parts of the economy. There could be a growth shock or a redistribution of spending there that can hit consumption, wealth effects as well.
I have an eval I need to complete, but I work typical office hours. Is it practical to trade after work hours? I mean, yeah, right. I know a lot of people that just trade Asian session and just London session. They do really good. But I would say if you're gonna pick a certain session, try to stick to it. Don't just show up to the markets at a random time every day. Whatever time you show up to the markets, just I would try to make sure it's consistent. That way you get really good at a very specific session. Very specific time of the day.
So I wouldn't say there's a conviction that this is going to go through quickly or not quickly. It's just you got to write something down, and this is something that is that people wrote down, and. So, we don't debate how long. How do you do that? We wouldn't be able to.
Yeah,
debate,
I'm not gonna lie,
what the
guys.
length
This
of
is
or size of these effects
not
would be. We
that
just have to kind of
good
make an
of
individual
a FOMC.
statement, and you also, what you.
I'm pretty sure this is just like the last FOMC where you really didn't see much. After 2 p.m. Sometimes you get a really crazy FOMC where, right at 2 p.m. Eastern, you see a crazy candle. And then you see an even crazier candle when Powell starts speaking. But we didn't see that today, so we'll see. I think what really matters is how the market is going to open tomorrow, whether it's bullish or bearish. I'm just hoping there's good volume. And honestly, I think if tomorrow and Friday are choppy as well, I think for sure the markets you won't see a change in the market until we get more news on Iran. And who knows when that will be. Maybe over the weekend, because it's like that's when they love to announce stuff like that.
Through energy shocks, but as I mentioned, that's conditioned on inflation expectations and that kind of thing. So, sorry, your question was
what the staff is saying about, and has said in the past.
Yeah. So there'd be an offset.
Offsets, yeah.
So that's true. We're a net exporter of energy, right? So any effect.
How do I stop at 2 trades a day? I wait for I wait for the A+ setups, right? Very specific setup, which is normally just 1 hour a day. So the setup is so specific that the time matters, the volume matters. So I don't really get a lot of chances. So 2 trades a day is fine. because most of the time I only get two setups anyways. But yeah, I think if you're struggling to take less trades, um, that means you probably don't have a specific setup you take. Maybe you take random trades, so it's hard for you to stop, because you're always taking whatever move shows up, which is fine, right? People are successful that way, but I don't even know if that's true. I'm lying. It's not fine if you're struggling, you know? Yeah, I would say like try to be very picky with the setups you take. It's like, what do you really want to bet your money on? Probably something you've seen before, right? Something you've had deja vu on. That's how I like to think about it. Yeah, usually I take about 3 trades. Like, let's say I lost the first trade and then the second one's break even or something, then I would take a third trade. But if I take 2 losses in a row, then I just stop. Because I feel like, if I took 2 losses, I'm most likely not reading the market right. Someone told me to short. Someone said, Lonnie, short. I really don't have a reason to short just yet. Not yet.
You've described monetary policy as modestly restrictive. If the unemployment rate is roughly stable, inflation moving sideways in the high twos, with an ongoing overshoot in services and non-housing services, not just goods, and the economy doing fairly well as you just outlined, what gives you confidence that inflation returns to target over the next couple of years?
Okay. So I would say the rate is, you can characterize it as in the high end of neutral.
Make the markets go in circles.
Characterize it as perhaps
it already is
restrictive, even modestly restrictive. No one knows for sure, but it's in that range.
It already is.
It's somewhere around the borderline between restrictive and not. Remember that
I actually want to see, like, when was the last time we were in this bad of a range? Because we've been in a tight spot. Let's see. I mean, I don't know. There's a couple, but I feel like this is the worst it's been in a while.
before tariffs came in, it was 0, and it's running at like 2% now. So, and so that's kind of goods inflation is running at 2%. So that's not coming from standard Phillips curve restrictive, restrictive policy. It's coming from the runoff of a one-time thing. We also think it's important, though, to keep policy either mildly restrictive or close to that, but not too restrictive because of the weakness in the downside risk in the labor market.
I used code Lonnie 20 times on Apex. I think tomorrow's the last day.
Where the risks to the labor market
is
are to
it?
the downside,
I
which
feel like they extended it for longer.
And the risks to
oh no,
inflation
you're
to
right.
The
The
upside,
19.
should call for higher rates or not cutting anyway. So we're in
I'm
a difficult
surprised
situation, and we feel like we're
if they actually stopped the
framework
sale.
calls on us to balance the risks, and we feel like where we are now is just kind of on that borderline, the higher borderline.
Because they extended it like
restrictive versus,
I think like 3 times already.
not restrictive. We feel like that's
Yeah,
the
it
right
says
place
it
to be.
ends in 1 day and 9 hours.
Because there are some people who think that it hasn't come down very
So I don't know if they stop the sale. I don't know if it'll go to like 80% off, or if it'll just go to regular prices. I doubt it. I feel like they always have some sort of sale. I'm really wondering if they're ever gonna bring back the 90% off. They have to, right? I hope so. Especially for Black Friday. They're for sure gonna bring the 90%. Or sometimes they do a sale. They'll do like 80% off, but then the activation fee is cheaper. I know they've done that before. So we'll see. That'd be a really good sale if they took a percentage off the activation fee. Because the activation fee for the end of the accounts, I think it's the priciest they've ever had it. Is it? No, they've had it more expensive before. I'm lying. They had it more expensive before.
That PCE has ticked down overall.
You know, it's really, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that that's clear at all, that one is more at risk than the other. So you can point to the unemployment rate being stable, and, you know, in a world where both supply and demand for workers have come down very, very sharply over the course of the past year due to immigration policy largely, you know, a ratio is going to be a better thing to look at than job creation, for example. So
I heard Canada had a really bad job report. I think it was like the worst it's ever been or something. I don't know. I saw it on Twitter. I'm bad at reading news. Like, I'll just read the headline and I won't even read the rest.
And that's a concern. You know, we need to get back down to 2%, and we need to keep focused on that, even though we do now face some new inflation from energy. So I'd be hard-pressed to say that one of them is obviously.
Nasdaq's getting really close to the zone, which I do like. This 4-hour zone is a pretty strong zone that we've bounced off of before. So we could bounce off of it again, or we could break through it. We'll see.
And it's what we're going to do in this situation.
But if I do take a trade, I do want it to be down here around 730, 733, which we're getting close to.
And finality, and I would refer you to.
But then again, it's like there's not even that good volume. So it's like, should I actually risk it? It's not looking too good. Too good.
Based on what I think is best for the institution and for the people we serve. Figuring you probably were going to set the dominoes off there, Edward. And I'm not going to have any more to say on those issues, by the way.
Damn.
Thank you very much. Claire Jones from the Financial Times. People have drawn quite a few historical.
Damn, a lot of people want to short.
We've seen oil price shocks in the past.
I mean, I get it. It's been going down, but it could go up too.
And to what extent do you think we're in a different place today? Thank you.
You know, it's really hard to say until we see the situation, the actual situation. In some circumstances, that might be the right case. In fact, for example, if we do see the kinds of disinflationary progress that we expect to see due to tariffs that I mentioned, I think it's hard to say, and it will depend to some extent on the size and duration of the effects we're seeing on prices, and it will depend a lot on what we can see in inflation expectations.
And just one follow-up, if I may, just on the BLS report that was mentioned briefly there. It doesn't seem from the projections or from the comments you've made today about the unemployment rate and focusing on that your view on the labour market story, to a large part being a supply-side story, has changed despite the quite negative number in February. Would that be the right take, and was there anyone else in the room who thought differently and that the February jobs report was cause for concern?
So I think you have to take the.
Yeah, I remember this one FOMC where like it was the craziest move down. It was a while ago. That made me think about when Trump announced tariffs for the first time, and it was just like it was crazy move down in like 15 minutes.
On the committee are concerned about is just the very, very low level of job creation. If you adjust what has been the trend job creation over the past, let's say, 6 months, if you adjust that for what we think, our staff thinks, is the overstatement due to overcounting, effectively there's zero net job creation in the private sector. But actually that looks like that's about what the economy needs in terms of dealing with very, very low, non-existent really, growth in the labor force, which of course we've never had in our history. So you've got a sort of a zero employment growth equilibrium. Now that's balance, okay, but I would say it does have a feel of downside risk, and it's not kind of a really comfortable balance. So we look at that, we see it, we get it, and I mean everybody understands the arithmetic, and that's you can say the break even is zero, but nonetheless it's something we're watching carefully, and are concerned about. But ultimately, though, you can argue that it's a consequence of deliberate policy, which is really the changes to immigration. That's the biggest factor there.
Oh, let's see if the market bounces here, or if
something we watch carefully.
Continues to go down. Something I don't want to see is the market do something like this.
A series of supply shocks in the last few
I
years.
either
COVID
want to see it really bounce off of here, or I want to see it, actually go down. But I don't want to see it stick around here for a while. Yeah, is the weather good outside or something? Because it's like everyone's walking their dog. When do you think market conditions was easiest in your trading career? When it's going down. When the market's trending down on the bigger time frame, that's when it's easiest. For me, like, I'm a really good shorter. I don't know why, I just like shorting it. I feel like the best trades I've taken is from shorts. How you calculate contract when you copy trade using TradeAway's copy trader. Contract. It's weird. It splits up. I mean, you just combine it. So if you have 20 accounts and you want to trade 5 contracts in each account, so that'll be 5 times 20, and you need to trade 100 contracts on the copy trader. That's what I do, but I do it with micros.
Broad support, and we'd already made all the changes we made to the framework. That was a critical thing.
Got 2 more minutes for this 15-minute candle.
I wish we had been able to do some things, but we didn't.
I like these, how these 15-minute candles look. They look like they're closing out really strong, which is good.
Michael McKee from Bloomberg Television and Radio. The minutes show in January some members of the committee wanted to include a two-sided guidance on policy. Was that discussed today? And given the rise in the inflation expectations, how much support for a two-sided policy warning would there be?
So it did come up today. The policy that the possibility rather that our next move might be an increase did come up at the meeting, as it did at the last meeting. The vast majority of participants don't see that as their base case.
What time is it?
And
Oh,
of course, we
58.
don't
He about to
take
stop
things
talking
off the
soon, I
table.
think.
But you correctly characterized, what was in the minutes that several participants.
I wonder how
indicated
much
something
money he
very much
makes.
like that conversation did happen. What was your second question, though?
I was just one question there, but follow-up would be, there are a lot of goods besides oil that are trapped in the strait right now, and a lot of supply chains getting snarled. How
Snarled.
much concern do you have about whether if this becomes an inflation problem beyond just oil, whether there's anything you can
The
do
draw
about
is the
it or
previous
would
day
do
low.
about it, given the efficacies of monetary policy.
We're about to be there.
You know, you can worry about other commodities. You can worry about all of the ways that oil-related commodities go into manufacturing and that kind of thing. The truth is, it's completely out of our hands, and we just, like everybody else, we have to just wait and see what happens. And it'll come down to how long, you know, the current situation lasts, and then what are the effects on prices, and then how do consumers react and that kind of thing. Really, I wouldn't speculate in any way, and there's really not a lot we can do other than kind of watch and see.
Afternoon, Chair Powell. Maria Luisa
Oh,
Caporro
damn,
with
he's
Bloomberg
still
News. I wanted to
answering
ask you,
questions.
you said
I thought he'd
longer-term
stop at
versus
3.
of inflation expectations.
All right. Well, I'm looking at NASDAQ. It's tapping this 733 area. So I'm trying to see if it wants to bounce from here or if it wants to go lower. If it goes lower, the only way I'd really like to take a short is if, like, you know, if it does it really quick. You know, if it's really volatile. This would kind of be a breakout trade if I take shorts. I mean, if it was a regular day, like, I feel like I'd long it if it closes above 70. But we'll see. This could also just kind of be that 15-minute wick. We trading or what? I don't know. Don't know. I did want to see more volume early on. I mean, now it looks like more volume kicked in, but it's not like, you know, exactly what I wanted to see. And then the only way I would long it, like I said, if a candle closes above 70. But yeah, even if I long it at the 70s, the stop loss would be kind of weird. So I'd want it at the lows. I mean, I could go long now, but I wouldn't want to long it just yet. If it was a regular day, I would have longed it already down here once it broke that wick. Oh, we'll see how this candle closes. Got 30 seconds. See, like, that move looked kind of big, and then it's really not. Okay, I do like this candle close. I'm gonna take a long here at 83 and put my stop loss at 58. And we'll see how this plays out. I'm going to try to target around, what is this? Around 50 points. Yeah, I like this 5-minute candle close. I mean, of course, I do wish the stop loss was at the lows, but then I'd be risking quite a bit there. So I like the stop loss. I'm going to break even around 810, which is getting pretty close to. And then if it does pull back into drawdown, I'd want to see it bounce around 770. Yeah, I definitely want to see this 5-minute close above 770. I think if the 5-minute closes below 770, I'll definitely get stopped out. So I do think this candle is important, especially the 15-minute candle, which has, what, 6 more minutes? Your account grown from drawdown. What do you mean? Whoa. Why is it moving like that? That was weird. Got 5 more minutes for the 15-minute candle to close. All right, this is where I'd want to see a bounce here at 770. Okay, we did not get a bounce. I'm still somehow in the trade. My last chance here. Let's see. No, that's not gonna work. Okay. Well, the longs can still pop in, but I feel like if they wanted to, they would have continued to go higher. So I'll trade. We'll see. I mean, that move up did create a 5-minute demand zone that we could bounce off of. The only way I would short it is if we get below the lows. I feel like the only way I'd long it is maybe if it gets back above 770. All right, I'm in another long here. This is gonna be my last trade. I'm put my stop at 45. What time is it? Damn, 3:15. I do like where the stop loss is at. I feel like if I get stopped out on this, it'll definitely continue to go lower. For sure. Yeah, if it doesn't bounce here at 54. God damn. I got shit on again. Okay. I mean, I know it's a risky play because it's counter trend, but damn. What the? I shouldn't have traded. Fuck, what am I doing? That fucking sucks. I should have known, bro. It's just such a good area to take a trade because it's a 4 hour zone that I really like. Yeah. I don't even know what I'm waiting for because it's not like I could take another trade. I mean, I could take another trade, but I've already hit my daily loss limit, so it's just best that I wait for tomorrow. Yeah, damn. If I lose tomorrow, definitely, definitely be bad. I mean, even if I lose tomorrow, I won't lose the account, but I'll be very close. Yeah, the market's about to close pretty soon. Ay, ay, ay. Now is at this 2 hour demand zone. So, I mean, it could bounce here still, but I don't know. I feel like if it wanted to bounce, it would have continued to go higher there, then back inside of the range. Just, it didn't do that. Ooh, I still had an order there. Bro, these longs just, they kind of look like they're about to come in. Fuck, I was just gonna press short. Bro, once it broke this low, damn, I'd really want to take another trade. Definitely be breaking a rule, but if this shit is gonna go down, then, bro, like, I might have to risk it. I definitely almost went long if it broke this wick here, but it didn't. So thankfully, I didn't go long again. Plus, I already took longs twice and got clapped up, so why would I take it again? How's a 5 minute look? Oh, this is the last minute of the 5 minute candle. Yeah, this 5 minute candle. Let's see. I mean, it closed below this 4 hour 50% line, which is bearish for sure. And there is more volume. Then again, we have this 2 hour zone, which so far has bounced twice. Damn, even if I get in a trade now, it'll be like too late. Cause if I get in a trade now, I'd really only have like 10 minutes for it to play out. Cause then I feel like at 340 you get that spike, especially at 350 you'll get like a nasty volume spike that could be bad. And then if I take a short, the stop loss would be good, but it just it already sold off quite a bit. Then it kind of looks like it's slowing down. Damn. This is gonna be the 15-minute candle close. It'll be 30 more minutes for the market to close. I might regret this, but I'm gonna risk it for the biscuit. If it breaks above 33, then I'm gonna try longs again. The reason is just because it tapped into this 2 hour zone. It's tapped it quite a bit, and I mean, on the 1 minute time frame, it just looks like it's bouncing off of it. But it could just also be a small pullback. Either way, it's risky, especially since I should not be trading. And then for the shorts, it's like it already sold off quite a bit. So usually I would think shorts, especially since it's closing below this 4 hour zone and it's been bearish for a while. But I feel like for the shorts to continue, it need way better, a better push. I mean, at least on the smaller time frame. Yeah, but it's definitely bearish. Yeah, especially since the 15-minute candle closed below 33. I want to see what US 30 did. Oof. Yeah, US 30 looks bearish for sure. Okay, I'm in long here. I'm gonna put my stop loss at the lows. Damn, in order for this to hit TP, I mean, we'd need a miracle. Yeah, because either I'm going to be forced to get out of the trade pretty soon at like 3:45, I think. Yeah, they close trades at 4:59. Okay. I mean, we got time. Yeah, if I lose the trade, I'm gonna blame the dogs. No, if I lose the trade, it's on me. For sure. Yeah, I'm really thinking YOLO today. Usually I'd definitely stop. And I mean, usually I definitely short it, but it's like I feel like in order for it to short, it should have happened way before. got 3 more minutes for 340. I'm pretty sure usually at 345, I think it's called what is it called? MOC or something. It's like a spike of volume. Which, if it spikes in the right way, if it spikes up, it'll be good. Yeah, this is not looking good for me at all. Yeah, I'd feel like tomorrow I'm definitely full porting. Whatever trade I take, I'm gonna take it with extra sizing. Yeah, dude, damn. I don't want to talk about it, guys. I don't. Fuck, I should not have traded. I'm not gonna lie. I should have known because it wasn't even. Literally, there's no good volume. What am I doing? I got delusional. That's what happened. Oh. Yeah. I don't know what to say. And I don't want to look at the chat. I don't want to do it. I'm gonna chill out. I do want to see what happens though. I'm definitely done trading. I do think it'll definitely go lower. I mean, it failed to get above 33, so what am I doing? Like, I'm rusty. I'm gonna blame it on the dogs though, because they were definitely barking up a storm. Oh my goodness. It's like, what sucks is not trading for 2 days just to take a trade that didn't work out. 3 trades that didn't work out. I don't want to look at the chat. It's gonna be like, you didn't see that fair value gap? Why did you long it? I don't know why I longed it. I mean, I know why I longed it, but then again, it's like, why did I even trade? I traded because it's like, this is such a good zone. I think it is. But then again, I shouldn't have traded because there's not even good volume at all. It doesn't look like FOMC happened, which is what I was looking for. And yeah, I still decided to trade. So, it's definitely on me. And then, even though it's bearish, I thought it was going to bounce off of here. And then I got delusional with it. I did. Yeah. I do want to see what happens at 345. It'll probably short. Yeah, I think what I'm gonna do tomorrow is okay. Maybe I won't, but I kind of want a full port tomorrow. As bad as that sounds, I'll probably take the trade if it looks really good. I'm gonna go all into it. I'll probably double my size and see how that plays out. Try to get $1,000 win, which is possible. It's 50-50. That's how I'm thinking about it. But then it's like if I keep sizing the same, then on some accounts I really won't be able to take another trade. So it's like I might as well just YOLO it. At least I'll lose 19, right? Because one of the accounts is perfectly fine. It has $2,100 left. Quite a bit. Yeah. I shouldn't. I shouldn't have even showed up for FOMC. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. Maybe this is just a pattern that happens to me after a big payout. Is like a losing streak. I don't know if it's the timing or what, but yeah, last two payouts, this shit happened. If you triple size, it'll be done, one and done. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like, I want to get this shit over with. We watch, we don't judge. I don't care. Judge me. I'm judging myself. Yeah, I'm not even gonna say anything because it's like, what am I doing? All the entries were perfect entries for the opposite direction. So I definitely know how to take good losses, right? Okay, that wasn't the spike I was expecting. Maybe it's at 350, that spike that usually happens. Oh, it's 350. Yeah, I think tomorrow's the day I full port. But I won't full port in the beginning. It'll be like regular size, and then if the trade is like looking really good, I'ma add to it. I'ma add quite a bit. Not really. I'ma just double the size. Which, if I double the size, I mean, I really don't need that big of a move to make a good amount. But damn, this shit is ass. Yeah, this is definitely just a pullback. I've been thinking like if I do blow the accounts, how I'm gonna go about the evals. Let's see what high impact news it's next. Yeah, there's not, because I was thinking like, oh, maybe I could just like full port it on like a news candle. That way, it just hits CP right off the bat. But there's really not any high impact news this week except FOMC. Maybe next week. Maybe. Let's see. No, no. So I feel like for the eval, shit, I'll just have to trade it regularly and like actually try. Which takes time. Yeah. That sucks. Honestly, I'll probably buy like straight to funded accounts with Tradeify and the 20 evals. Cause you guys know how it is, just trading evals. It feels like how people call it, like eval jail. It feels like you're trading for nothing. That's why evals suck. But you're not. You're trading to get funded. Obviously, it just doesn't feel that way. All right, we got 2 more minutes. I want to see what happens with this 350 candle. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it shoots lower. Go big, but keep stops tight. That way you can get a few tries. Yeah, I was just thinking going regularly and and if it's not a trade that hits straight to stop loss, and it's a trade that gets into profit pretty quickly, then I'll add to it. Just double size. So it won't be full porting. It'll just be just adding more size, betting more money. That's what it'll be. And then if I lose that first trade, then fuck it. We're full porting again. I'm gonna try again. So I'm either gonna really save the accounts tomorrow or blow them. If I blow them tomorrow, I'll blow 19. And then I'm gonna have to get 19 evals, which I of course I didn't want to do, but it's just part of prop firms. Unfortunately, I just for me is I really like getting payouts from accounts and then keeping the accounts. I really don't like cycling through accounts. I don't like doing that because clearly you're not gonna be losing more money, but you're gonna be affecting your return on investment. Your return on investment is way better if you get multiple payouts off the same account. So that's what I try to aim for. Which I did really good with these accounts that I have now. I got 2 payouts, which is pretty good. And it's the older accounts, which was even harder to get a payout on because they had an intraday. But now with the newer accounts, the main thing that I'm worried about is the eval. That's like the only thing because of the daily loss limit. On the older Apex accounts, like you could literally just risk the whole drawdown in order to pass it in one day. But now you could pass in one day, but only risking like I think it's like half of your drawdown, which makes it a bit harder. Doesn't make it impossible, it just makes it harder. And not gonna lie, guys, definitely sad about today. Definitely thinking shoulda, coulda, woulda, right? Like you always do. It's always gonna be shoulda, coulda, woulda with trading. It's what I've learned. I should have done this. I could have done that. But you live and learn. I could still pick the old option. Yes, I could still go with the intraday, but the intraday is not good. It's not. It's hard to get over. With the intraday, it's you'll 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 get if you get on like literally a small losing streak, you're donezo with the accounts because it's intraday. So you'll lose more than planned most of the time. So that's why I want to do the end of day, because in the funded phase, it's going to be easier to get the payout. Yeah, it didn't even have that spike like I was expecting at 350. It's just crazy. I don't even have a word for how the markets have been, except shit. That's like the only word I can think of. Oh, and you know what sucks is that it's not like I could take this loss and walk away, because I actually have to stay at the desk and do other shit. I mean, I could take a break, but I'm gonna have to come back to the desk and do stuff. So that sucks, but you gotta do what you gotta do. Being the best loser helps with my psychology. I'm back funded now. I just gotta keep the consistency. Yeah. Consistency is gonna be key for sure. You just made 80K. All people should be saying is congratulations. Yeah, I still have haters. It's crazy. Especially on Instagram. Yo. But it's better than TikTok. It's crazy. Each platform that I post on they're all so different. The worst one is TikTok. Like, it's like every time I post on TikTok is some bullshit. Like, I'll get the stupidest comments ever. But on Instagram, I get more support. But if a video goes viral on Instagram, it's like just stupid comments. Especially if you post a loss on Instagram, it'll blow up and then you'll have like, oh, why do you take the long? You should have done this, you should have done that. How didn't you take the short there? Da da da. And then on YouTube, I get haters, but it's mostly supporters for sure. I feel like YouTube is a more how do you call it? It's a more mature audience. TikTok is just full of brain rot. Instagram's in the middle. Yeah, I haven't even opened up TikTok. Let's see. Oh yeah. It's crazy too. I've gotten comments that said, "Oh, she only got her payout because she's an affiliate." And I knew I was going to get that. So that's literally why I didn't become an affiliate until I got the first payout in front of everyone. So it's like you can't even say that, cuz I wasn't an affiliate until the payout first got approved. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see how tomorrow is. I am praying. I'm praying. Stupid comments equals stupid people. Yeah, it's crazy. It's like common sense isn't common at all. But alright, I'll see you guys tomorrow. I am praying tomorrow is gonna be better for not just me, but everyone. Everyone. I hope we all make money tomorrow. I'll definitely be paying attention to how the daily candle closes today and the 4 hour candle. It definitely looks very bearish. Yo, these dogs are something else. Yeah, the best session to trade this week has been London session. No, it's been Asian session. You know what? The best session to trade this week, it looks like it's been pre-market, like at 6:30 p.m. Eastern. That's when you really start to see the markets move, which is such a random time. All right, well, I'll see you guys tomorrow.